It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Saturday, the 17th day of July. I had to look. I wasn't even thinking what the day was. And the oxygen is all cattywampus here this morning. I have to share with you, folks, what happens. Sometimes things just work out for the best. I got up this morning like I always do and started researching the show. And quite frankly, after we've had such a good 3 days of shows, which I thought, the JJ Crew, that was a fabulous show. Then we had Sue Bryant from the cruise editor of the Sunday Times in London was with us day before yesterday. And yesterday we had us a jam-packed show that I thought was really good. This morning's news kind of sucked. It was horrible. It just wasn't much that I could get my teeth into at all this morning. So I, put together what I could scrape up, and I thought, well, it's just going to be a crappy show. And about that time, I got a message from a lady that was on board a cruise ship, had just gotten off a cruise ship, and as a matter of fact, was in the Delta Airlines waiting room at the Fort Lauderdale airport. And she said, I just now got your message asking me about interviewing me about the cruise, and let me start sending you some stuff. So she started sending me clips and pictures and all this. And she says, it's really quiet here now. I said, okay, let me go set it up. So I had to set it up, and I had to quickly download some things and taped a quick little interview there. She was in the waiting room at the airport, and it ended up being just terrific. So with no further ado, a special guest this morning that I wasn't counting on happening is Sharon Elizabeth. She's she was originally down from Orlando area, and now she lives up in the DC area. I think she actually lives on the Virginia side of things in Arlington. But she had just gotten off the Celebrity Edge. So let me share with you the interview I did with Sharon Elizabeth this morning. Hey, my guest today on Chillie Chats as a part of Travel and Cruise Industry News is Sharon Elizabeth, who's just gotten off a cruise ship. Tell us about it.
I can still say that I'm just overwhelmed. It felt so good. I don't know about other viewers, but I was cruising pretty much till the end of the season before they stopped it in 2020. And I just missed those sunsets and the sunrises. And to be on a ship again, it just made my heart pound with happiness. Okay. It was awesome. It was absolutely awesome. Captain Kate, I've never been on Celebrity. I am now probably Celebrity's biggest fan. And that says a lot, because I think everybody on the ship was Celebrity's biggest fan. And but I think they really carved out a new demographic, because a lot of us just went on Celebrity because we wanted to cruise. We missed cruising. Yep. And Celebrity did it right. I mean, as soon as we got on that ship, our masks were taken off. And they had masks that said Celebrity Cruises in our cabins in case we needed them. And we never needed them, which was phenomenal.
One of the things when I sent you a message several days ago was that I'd like to chat about the drinks package on Celebrity, how it worked.
Well, I guess they've done some tweaks. So now pretty much everything is included, but you can pay $10 extra a day to go from classic to premium. That $10 is a bargain, because that gives you cappuccinos, all the coffees at the 2 gourmet coffee shops on I think it's the 4th and the resort. It also gets you Macallan, which if you're a whiskey drinker, that's like 7 days of unlimited Macallan. It's crazy. And they created the specialty drinks at the martini bar and the smoothies. So even if you're not a big drinker, and I'm not, I would have about 2 drinks a day. Just the cappuccinos, the free bottled water with the premium, and it made it well worth it. And also, they are really into health right now. And they had these smoothie bars that had a lot of really funky things in the smoothies. And sometimes I would just try them because you'd see them here, like at these regular, and you would not want to try anything with kale. But when it doesn't cost anything, sure, I'll try kale. I immediately threw it away and I'd go and get like a daiquiri. But, I'm on vacation. It's not time to do kale.
My guest today is Sharon Elizabeth, who actually is coming to us from Delta Airlines Lounge. And I'm surprised there's not all kinds of noise. You're at the Miami airport, right?
I am actually at the new lounge in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, at the Fort Lauderdale airport. Flying out of Fort Lauderdale. Okay.
And it's kind of gone full circle because I was at this lounge after my last cruise in 2020, and now I'm here again, but they remodeled the lounge. And just like at Celebrity, they have all these safety precautions. And our ship, I think it's not full because the ship, I believe they would never give us the real capacity, but I mean, they're ready soon to go. They said to about 55 to 60% capacity is what they're going to be going to, I guess, in July and August.
Sailing with Captain Kate. Yes, sailing with Captain Kate. There's a crucial question that has to be asked. Did you get to see the cat?
Yes. Oh my
Sweet.
goodness. I will send you a quick video of her. They had trivia about the cat, and then Captain Kate brought in the cat. And there were only 2 times where the theater and then the club were fully booked. And that was when Captain Kate spoke, and then during bug naked trivia. And let me tell you, you had to win the trivia to get a selfie with Bug.
That's terrific.
I mean, it was nuts. I mean,
all right, I'm going to try to do something, Sharon, that my technical skills are a little weak because I tried to do this real quick so I wouldn't waste your time, but I'm going to try to get one of the little video clips you sent me up to play. I can get it. Okay.
That was lovely.
It played.
That was so memorable. That was a good one. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So you feel Celebrity did it right in your travels from home to the boat, through the cruise, now back to the airport. Have you felt uneasy or unsafe at any time?
This is the funny part. When I got to the cruise dock, there were all these people waiting outside. And it kind of gave me flashbacks to when they were doing double passport checks. And it turns out, and I talked to an officer at Celebrity, that was because the port handles the passengers until they're checked in. I walked right onto that cruise ship at 2:30, my designated time. People were showing up at noon thinking they could get on early, but they had 4 o'clock times. And those people had to stay outside until their time. So when my time came, I got out of my Uber at 2:26. I started walking and I was 2 minutes early, and they said anybody with a 2:30 can now proceed. I was social distance nonstop. And you know what? Then people, after about day 2, I noticed in the theater, there'd always be a couple seats between people, but then people felt comfortable and people were sitting together. And it really, it was like a nice transition from not wearing a mask for a whole week, but you knew that you were safe. And they had 12 unvaccinated adults on the ship. And they had special places for them to eat. They could not see Bug naked because they weren't allowed in that venue. I mean, just that alone should make someone want to get a vaccine.
Yeah, I agree.
And it was fantastic because they had a special place in the theater for the 12 people, but most of them never really left their cabin. I think people are starting to get that when a cruise line wants a vaccinated cruise, they want a vaccinated cruise.
Yeah, I think so too. And I keep telling people, if you don't want to get vaccinated, don't go. stay home. Go
Please.
pitch a tent in the backyard or do something.
And there were over 100 people that bought the next cruise on that cruise.
Yeah.
So, and then it was so funny. Then they all had to get a COVID test, and one of them was the people that I dined next to. They kind of wanted to always have us have the same waiters. That way, you limited who you were interacted with. And they gave COVID tests to all 100 people that were doing back to back, and every person that I had gotten to know in the blue room that was doing back to back, they were there at dinner 6 hours after their COVID test. So, and they're going on the ship again. So I honestly think they've created a bubble that is so safe, and Celebrity is so confident that they allowed 100 people after being on the ship a week to get COVID test and reboard. And it was insane how freeing it felt. I actually hugged two people that I don't know very well. But it was okay because we were in that bubble.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I just love cruising, and I'm sure all your viewers just love cruising, but I did not get off at any ports because at that point you left the bubble for a brief moment.
Yeah.
And you could go if you were on an excursion, but I'm a snorkeler, and I don't want to be told where to snorkel. I want to snorkel where I want to snorkel. So I think I'm going to book another cruise like in January, February, and snorkel then. But just being on the boat and the quality of the service, the quality of food, and let me tell you, that $10 premium beverage upgrade, nothing could be better.
Yeah. All right, Sharon, I know you're on a tight schedule this morning. I can't thank you enough for being with me. And next time you're on a cruise, we'll do this again.
Okay, and I'm going to send you that bug video because it was cute.
And I'll get it up. All right, thanks, Sharon. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay, that was Sharon Elizabeth this morning as she got off of the Celebrity Edge. And I found it an interesting perspective, folks, because most of the people that I've talked to about cruising since they've gone back are professionals. I mean, they're writers. They're people that make a living from talking about cruises and stuff. So their eyes are a little different than just the average ordinary person cruising. And Sharon, I thought, gave a marvelous perspective from those eyes. So I really appreciated that. The couple things that I got fascinated by, of course, the bug naked trivia kind of had me question, what in the world is bug naked trivia? And it's things like how old is Bug naked? And how many captain hats does Bug own? And things like that. So now I see what they were doing. And then, of course, Captain Kate sitting there with Bug naked with a little blanket over his legs to keep him warm while all this is going on. Now, could you see my two damn cats sitting like that? Good heavens, I couldn't at all. The other thing that I found fascinating, and that I, quite frankly, I knew that the drinks were covered, but I didn't know the specifics of the drink package, the add-on drink package on Celebrity. And I think I agree with Sharon. It's worth $10 a day. But this is like fancy martinis, or $15 to $18. Okay. So if you have one of those a day, if you're a martini drinker, which I'm not, but I would do the same thing with bourbon. If you had one of those a day, which I would have more than one, I hate to say, it would be well worth it. And then, of course, that also covers fancy coffees. A lot of you guys are Starbucks people. And I am not particularly. I will occasionally have a cappuccino or something like that from Starbucks, but I don't go out looking for it. And, of course, your water. And for me, the soft drinks, if I could get Diet Cokes included in there in that $10 package, boy, that would be worth it alone. And then, of course, if you guys are tea, like some of you folks from the other side of the pond or big tea drinkers, that's all included in there. So I thought that was a very interesting perspective. One of the reasons that I love Emma so much is because Emma is not like all of our writer friends that are professional. Emma is a cruiser. She's just a plain, ordinary person cruiser like I am, like you are. One of the reasons, and that I'm not taking anything away from Sue and from Dave Monk and from Ashley and for all the writers that I talk to on a regular basis, Janine, I love them to death and I appreciate what they do. And I appreciate the fact that they're giving me a little bit of their time that they are supposed to be using for their professional purposes. So, but I liked having Sharon's perspective. So I thought that was terrific. Okay. Now, got to get into some news for the day. And did I not do that? I did not do that. So let me see if I can do this real quickly while you guys are here. I did not bring up the stupid map. There it is. That looks like it right there. So we got to talk about weather. There it is. All right. Hurricane Felicia. This I thought would be weakened yesterday and disappear. Well, as of the last update, the center of Hurricane Felicia was about 1,085 miles west-southwest of Baja California, moving about 9 miles an hour, turning to the west at a similar speed as forecast over the weekend. Maximum sustained winds remain near 130 with higher gusts. So Felicia is a Category 4 hurricane out there sailing around the middle of the Pacific and going nowhere. Thank goodness. Felicia remains a small tropical cyclone. The hurricane force winds only extend about 15 miles from its center. Estimated minimum pressure is 954, so it's just continually dropped. Now, the second system, the X, which is due east of Felicia almost, showers and thunderstorms are associated with a large low-pressure system located a few hundred miles southwest of the coast of southwestern Mexico, have continued to become better organized over the past several hours, and a tropical depression is likely to be formed later on today and very well to another hurricane. The chance of further development, 100% over the next 48 hours and 100% over the next 5 days. So that one clearly we got to watch, although like Felicia, doesn't look like it's heading to land anywhere. But who knows? Stranger things have happened. All right. My lead story today was going to be the death count rises from European floods. More than 125 people have died. It's awful. In Germany and Belgium, amid a rare flood event that has devastated the region, 63 people have died in the German state of Rhineland-Palatinate. Wow, getting the tongue working today. Including 12 residents of an assisted living facility for people with disabilities. That's just awful. In North Rhine-Westphalia, boy, my tongue's not working at all. In North Rhine-Westphalia, state officials put the death toll at 43, but warned the figure could rise. Authorities are trying to account for hundreds of people who have been listed as missing. Thousands of people remain homeless after their homes were destroyed by the flooding and deemed at risk by authorities. The German army has been deployed with more than 850 troops to help with rescue efforts. The whole places are scarred by the disaster, so says German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier. Many people have lost what they have built all their lives. During a visit with President Biden on Thursday, Chancellor Angela Merkel said the full extent of this tragedy will only be seen in the coming days, and it's gotten worse and worse every day, I'm sorry to say. Flash floods this week followed days of heavy rainfall, which caused rivers and reservoirs to burst through their banks. The rainfall amounts had around a 1% chance of occurring in an individual year, making this a 100-year rainstorm. Scientists are analyzing the rainfall for more precise calculations and determine the role that global warming played in this disaster, but studies have shown climate change increases the odds of and severity of extreme precipitation events. So, my hearts go out to the folks in Germany and Belgium, and I'm afraid it's going to get worse before it gets better. Late last month, Disney Cruise Line was set to operate its first simulation sailing of the Disney Dream out of Port Canaveral ahead of its regular cruise resumption. The scheduled 2-night June test sailing was canceled due to inconsistent COVID-19 results, which ultimately turned out to be negative. Now the cruise line has confirmed that Disney's Dream test cruise was rescheduled for today. Passengers aboard the simulated cruise will be volunteers that are employees within the Walt Disney Company, and most of them are cast members like Mickey and Minnie are out there doing the test cruise. That's pretty cool. The cast members boarded at 9:30 this morning will be on the Dream until about 1:30 this afternoon, marking the first simulated sailing to depart from Port Canaveral. The port says that it expects to host other test cruises before Carnival Cruise Line's new ship Mardi Gras departs on the 31st of July, which will be Port Canaveral's first revenue cruise since the shutdown. Viking announced that its newest ocean ship, the 930-passenger Viking Mars, was floated out at the shipyard, marking the first time it has touched water. The cruise line also revealed the ceremonial godmother who will name the ship when she debuts is Lady Fiona Carnarvon. The 8th Countess of Carnarvon will do the honors when Viking Mars debuts early next year. And the last story this morning, Fred Olsen Cruise Line's Borealis cruise ship has been set back due to a technical issue. The vessel has not been able to depart Portsmouth until the problem is fixed. The ship just recently joined the fleet after being sold by Carnival-owned Holland American Line, and they're working on it and hope to get sailing sometime today. Of course, this used to be better known as the MS Rotterdam before Fred Olsen purchased it. All right, that's the end of news for today. I have one other thing to share with you. Sharon's did send a little bit of clip about the Bug Naked's appearance. So I'm going to fire that up real quick. Let's see, I got to get rid of that picture first. And then I got to do this first so I don't screw up with sound.
Fashion influencer, and as I said, the only feline sailing on the high seas. Please give a big warm welcome to Captain Kate and Bug. They are a special guest joining us today as well. Hi Bug, are you happy to be here? Oh yes, she is.
That's pretty cool that Bug Naked answers on demand. All right. If you remember the other day, Sue Bryant was talking about the beer that fills up from the bottom. It was cool. And she sent me a clip. We tried 15 different ways to get Sue's clip to load into StreamYard, which I use, and it did not accept the system of Microsoft, the MOV, whatever business, that's beyond me. So anyway, John up in Minnesota pulled up a clip on how this works, and he had an interesting take on it as well. But here is actually the system that fills the beer glasses from the bottom.
How does the bottoms-up system work? A bottoms-up cup has a hole in the bottom with a metal ring around it. It is sealed with a magnet. These magnets are FDA approved and can be printed with any advertisement in order to generate revenue, provide a coupon, and even souvenirs for your customers. When placed on a bottoms-up dispenser, the nozzle post securely lifts the magnet away from the cup. The dispenser automatically fills the cup to a pre-programmed amount, leaving the server free to multitask by checking IDs, getting food orders, or completing transactions. Once the cup is full, it can stay on the dispenser until the server is ready to remove it. This automated pour is highly effective in reducing wasted beer by eliminating operator error and excessive foam. The system works with any one of our 5 sizes of disposable cups, glass pints, plastic pints, 32 and 64 ounce pitchers. In short, Bottoms Up drastically increases revenue from beer sales and creates happier customers with faster service and souvenir magnets.
Now, the thing that John pointed out for this is, yeah, I can see where that's a neat thing and it's going to draw people in, and they probably charge you extra for getting a beer filled up from the bottom or whatever. But that's for the good that system does. That's got to be an expensive system because you got to replace all your glassware. You got to have the little discs. So you got some expense involved in that. So I'm not sure how functional this is going to be in the long run. But it's an interesting feature that was on the ship that she was on, which was also a celebrity ship. All right, let's go over to the chat room and see who's yelling at me today. Go back to the beginning. Gretchen's with us. John, hi, John's with us. How high is the water, Mama? 4 feet high and rising. John says he's glad that I get up every morning. Yeah, well, I'm glad that I get up every morning too, John. Nikki's with us in Jacksonville. John says throw the kale away. I tend to agree with that. Although I'm kind of like Sharon. If I was sitting around testing out weird stuff and smoothies and the like, I might try kale too, and knowing I could get rid of it. I mean, remember, I work very hard at keeping my vegetable level where it's supposed to be when I'm on a cruise. I have a Bloody Mary every morning just to keep my vegetable level up. Hey, look who's here. Rachel Hunt's with us. Good evening, all. Glad I finally made it to watch a live stream live. Rachel, glad you're with us. Good luck on your upcoming endeavors as you're getting ready to get on Harmony of the Seas as a staff member, which will be your second contract with Royal Caribbean. I'm tickled that you're back and going to work. She is in in Cyprus. So she's coming to us from Cyprus, folks, getting ready to get on Harmony of the Seas. Terrific. Emily's with us from up in New York. She says, is your Fiona a countess? Ah, that's right. She has a Fiona too. Nikki says, all's well here. Errands are done and time to fix lunch. Emily says she laughs out loud on that one. Yes, she is. So funny about the ship. Gretchen says just made and ate turkey roast like Thanksgiving. Huh. Love Chili Snoopy shirt. Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize I had it on again today, Emily. I should have announced that it was just for you, which I lied, but that's neither here nor there. And Rachel says hi to everybody. The bottoms up is cool. I agree with that. I've heard of some pubs in the UK using those bottoms up things. I'll be darned. Tom Henry's with us. He's over there in Richmond. Hot Air Tom is here, Emily says. Susan's with us. Hi, Susan. Welcome aboard. Susan's been with us a couple times now. Gretchen wants to know, this must be a serious question. Is kale good with bourbon in a smoothie? I don't know. I've not tried it. I would not think so. No. You're going to ruin my bourbon with kale, I think. Tom says, yes, but it was delayed an hour due to construction. What was Nate? Is the wedding today? That's a wedding that's delayed an hour due to construction. Construction of the wedding? Construction of the road? Boy, you've got some interesting questions left open on that one, Tom Henry. Rachel says, hey, from Siphons, I join Harmony tomorrow. Awesome. Tom says, I am wearing shorts and a Sloppy Joe shirt representing Key West. That's cool. Rachel says, thanks. Getting ready for my evening meal. Awesome. I'm getting ready for lunch. And Susan says, greetings from Cincinnati. One of these days, Susan, I have to figure out how to pronounce your last name, because that's one that I'm sure I would screw up. Haifawi is a guess. The D silent, I'm thinking. But I could be totally wrong on that one. But glad we got somebody from Cincinnati here. Gretchen's from Ohio. She's up near Columbus, I think. Tom Henry says, I wonder how the judge is for the NCL versus Florida case. With the stats I'm hearing, it should be an easy case. 99% of new cases last week are unvaccinated and 20% of those in Florida. I agree with you. Laugh out loud. D. Fowey, Susan says. Okay, I was totally wrong. D. Fowey. Now, I'll remember that. Probably not, but I'll try. So if I just call you Susan, you'll know. All right, so Tom, it should be an easy call. But that judge has not done things the way I would think it should have been done. And who do I know? So anyway, at least so far, we're getting ships in and out of Florida, despite what's, to me, I mean, I would be worried to death of having to go through Florida right now, even though I'm fully vaccinated. But then, that's just me. So, all right, guys, this is going to wrap me up for today. It's from what was going to be an absolutely awful show. It turned into a pretty good show, I thought. So, you guys all stay out of trouble this weekend. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Oh, yeah, tomorrow. 2 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. That's 1 o'clock Central Daylight Time. And 7 p.m. London time for the folks on the other side of the pond. We're going to have a live stream from on board the Golden Horizon from Cruise Amigo Martin, and all the problems that they've had on the Golden Horizon with the ship being arrested and released and all kinds of craziness that I had never heard of. We're going to get a firsthand live explanation of what's going on the Golden Horizon, which is itself, folks, now. It's whatever it was, it got worked out. So that's tomorrow at 2 on the Cruise Amigos, live from London with me, John, and Martin. So I'll see everybody then. See everybody back here on Monday at 11 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time for the next episode of Travel and Cruise Industry News with Chillie Falls. You guys have a terrific weekend, and I will see everybody either tomorrow or Monday. Later, y'all, and good luck, Rachel.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.